How to prepare a testimony? Well, number one, check the political temperature in the room. So that means that you have to talk to the executive director, talk to the team, talk to other sister agencies, community leaders, friends, or friends of the office that you have to see what's happening around a specific bill. A lot of the times, there are bills that are super sensitive, that people have strong feelings about, and it's always good to know what's happening around a bill before you show up and testify. That way you don't say inappropriate stuff and you can read the room. So yeah, make sure that you have talked to people before you testify. And number two, make sure you have done some research that helps you to compare what's being proposed in Vermont with what's being proposed in other jurisdictions, such as other New England states or even other countries. Usually in public policy, the issues that we are trying to address are not exclusively from Vermont. Other people in other places in the world have also deal with those issues. So make sure to have done some research about that. It's always good to tell the legislators, hey, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. People in Maine have done this before. And that's also key. Make sure Vermont is a very rural state, so make sure that you are comparing Vermont with another kind of similar rural state. Because if you compare New York with Vermont, even though they are neighbors, I mean, those kind of comparisons don't make sense. Number three, try to always respect the protocols. So every time you are testifying, you have to say, for the record, my name is blah blah blah, and I work for, or whatever. So you have to include the for the record sentence. That's part of the protocol, and you also have to submit to the committee assistant your slides 24 hours early. So make sure that you have done that before you show up. And I like to print handouts. A lot of the legislators are not super tech savvy. So I like to print my slides or handouts or physical paper, people like that, and it has worked well in the past. So yeah, other important thing is to start your presentation with a hook, maybe a quick show of hands. How many of you have done this? How many of you have heard of what? Tell a story. Stories usually are easier for people to remember. So one day I started a testimony by sharing the story of a person in Barrie that has suffered a hate crime. And that story was like super touchy, and I think the legislators remember stories more than data. I'm not saying you don't have to use data and numbers and statistics, but if you could mix both and you can start your presentation with a hook, with a question, with a quick show of hands, with a story, that's more appealing. And finally, make sure that you are clear with the things that you want them to do. Like, be clear, be concise, having written notes before every testimony is super helpful, because sometimes you have to do bill reviews, and if you don't have written notes, then your life gets harder. Your work is bigger. So yeah, and sometimes the legislators ask you to submit a written testimony, not only your verbal or in-person testimony. Sometimes you have also to submit a written testimony, but if you don't have notes, then you have to start all over from scratch, or go to YouTube and listen to what you have said. So to avoid that, try to have a document somewhere with all the information you're gonna say.